All right, so here is a question from someone talking about protein.
Hey coach, I got a question for you. So what's your suggestion on a good protein bar and or protein snack in lieu of a bar?
All right, so the question was, how do you find the right protein bar? And if you don't have access to a protein bar, what are some high protein snacks? So let's go over that here in a second. So I got some protein bars that I'm going to show you and kind of talk a little bit about the differences between them. And then I'm going to show you some protein alternatives or some snacks that you can get if you don't want to go the protein bar route, or if you don't like them and you just want to get them through food. So here we go. Okay, so the main difference between all the protein bars, if you walk into any store, any supplement store, or any grocery, you're gonna see a ton of protein bars. So the first thing is you gotta decide, are you looking for a bar that's gonna be a meal replacement, or are you just looking for a snack? And that actually matters. So the first bar that I'm gonna show you is by, again, I have no endorsement, so I'm not plugging away anything. I just went to the Target and just grabbed different types of bars. So the first one is called a Fit Crunch Bar. Okay, so you can kind of see the size of this thing. It's a pretty big size bar. One serving for this bar is 380 calories, so almost 400 calories. So to me, right away, that puts it in the category of probably more of a meal replacement, or if you eat half of it, maybe that's a snack. So the big thing, this has higher calories, so if you're gonna skip a meal, this might be a good option. It's got 30 grams of protein, 27 grams of carbohydrates, 2 grams of fiber, only 6 grams of actual sugar. It's a little higher in the fat content. It's got about 16 grams of fat. So overall, it's a pretty decently balanced bar. It's not super high in sugar. It's got plenty of protein. 30 grams is by far definitely enough. But even if you eat half of this, 15 grams, you're getting a decent amount of protein per serving. So if you're looking for a meal replacement, a bar similar to this, as far as the macros and the calories, might be a good option. All right, so that's more of a meal replacement, or if you cut it in half, that's maybe a snack. Okay, so now we move on to kind of the next category. This is kind of like an in-betweener. If you're looking for a little maybe higher end or higher calorie snack, something like a Cliff Bar. Okay, so these are kind of like the newer type Cliff Bars. It has peanut butter in it. So this bar is going to give you 260 calories. It's only got 11 grams of protein, so to me, I'm looking for a bar with a minimum of about 15, ideally about 20 grams of protein. So if you're gonna have this, you can combine it with something else, but you can also just have it by itself if you just need a little pick-me-up. This one has 40 grams of carbohydrates. It has 19 grams of sugar, so a lot higher sugar in this thing than in this one, but not as many calories because it only has 7 grams of fat. So this is kind of like one of those in-between bars. I usually like these when I go for longer hikes because it gives you plenty of carbohydrates, which you need throughout, like if you're doing like an 8-hour hike. So this is a good option. But as far as like just a protein snack, maybe not going to be the best because it only has those 11 grams of protein per serving. And this whole thing is 1 serving. Okay, so now we're gonna move on to the actual protein snacks. These are probably 2 of my favorite types of bars. They both taste differently, both texture-wise and flavor-wise, but they're both pretty solid. But again, I would always suggest you go and pick a few different flavors and try them yourself. So the first one is gonna be the Quest Bar. Okay, so the reason I like this bar, a couple things. It has plenty of protein, so it has 21 grams of protein. Only 1 gram of sugar. And the big thing with this one, like if you're on a low carb diet, if you're on a keto diet, things that are going to be restrictive in carbohydrates, even though it has 21 grams of carbs, it has 14 grams of fiber. So net carbs, it's only going to give you 7 grams. So that's pretty low as far as a protein bar. Only has 9 grams of fat, so that's not super high. And this entire bar is only 200 calories. And to me, these taste really good. I usually just pop them in the microwave for like 10 seconds at the most, and they taste really, really good. So this is a Quest Bar. Try different flavors. I love the cookie dough as my favorite. And lastly, we have what's called a Power Crunch Bar. Let me get that. It's hard to get it in frame here, but you can look it up. It's hard to see it, but Power Crunch bar. These are more of like a wafer type bar, so I love having this with like my morning coffee. So let's look at some macros. So this entire bar, similar, almost exactly the same, actually the same exact 200 calories with the Quest bar and the Power Crunch bar. It has 14 grams of protein, so almost at that 15-gram threshold. Ideally, maybe combine this with something else that I'll show you in a second. But you can have one of these lower in carbs, only 8 grams of carbohydrates, 1 gram of fiber, only 5 grams of sugar, and 13 grams of fat. So again, these two are going to be snacks. So this is like in between meals. Maybe you got a workout in and you just want to get something in before you eat dinner. So these are good snacks, or even before bed you can have something like this because they're not at all high in sugar, and they're going to get you pretty satisfied with the protein. Okay, so those are the bars. Now we're going to move on into the food choices. Okay, so now we're going to talk about some food choices, some snacks that you can buy. These you can buy probably at 7-Eleven or any gas station for the most part. So these are going to be food items. So the first one of my favorites, is a Greek yogurt. So when it comes to getting yogurt, a lot of times, again, they can be high in protein, but if you're getting like the typical Yoplait, you're the ones that have just tons of sugar, they're only going to give you like 8 grams of protein. So make sure when you're looking for like Greek yogurt, it should have at least about 15 grams of protein. Some of them have up to about 20 to even 23 grams of protein. So one of my favorites is Skier. It's one of my favorites. When I went to Iceland, these are Icelandic type yogurts. Taste really good. They do have some sugar because it's flavored, but you can combine it with a plain one, and then you get extra protein and not a lot of sugar. So this thing has 130 calories, 2 grams of fat, 14 grams of carbohydrates, only 11 grams of sugar, and 15 grams of protein. So this would meet that 15 kind of gram threshold. So you can have this in the morning with maybe some eggs or something like that. Okay, second item is going to actually lead us into the eggs. So eggs are a great source of protein. You can scramble them, however you want to eat them, that's fine. But if you're looking for something on the road, I tend to go to 7-Eleven and get these little packaged hard-boiled eggs. You can do them yourself, but these are super convenient. If you have both eggs, they're going to give you 12 grams of protein. So a good way to kind of combine is a yogurt and these 2 hard-boiled eggs. That's going to give you 27 grams of protein. For 2 eggs, you're going to get only 120 calories. You're going to get 8 grams of fat, and you're going to get no grams of carbohydrates. So high in protein, moderate in fat, but just a good overall snack, super healthy. And they come in little packages, so it's easy to and very portable. Okay, then we're moving on to kind of some, again, I don't know if I would classify them necessarily as protein snacks, but kind of like peanut butter and almond butter, peanut butter, these little packets. They're good for snacks. I mean, protein-wise, they're only going to give you about 8 grams, maybe 10 grams at the most. But it's a good overall snack if it's just going to kind of keep you over into your next meal. I like them because they come packaged. Because if you get the jar, you're going to scoop out way too much. These are already packaged. Each of these packets have 200 calories, 8 grams of protein, 5 grams of carbs, 2 grams of fiber, and 17 grams of fat. So the reason these things are packaged in calories is because of the fat content. But overall, again, probably limit yourself to maybe 1 a day. But good snack if you're looking for something. Again, these are packaged. Ideally, you want to get more kind of non-processed type of nut butters. And lastly are these little kind of pre-packaged kind of nuts and some dried fruit. You can make your own, honestly, but they come packaged, so you can portion it out. I don't have the macros on this because they don't have them on the label, but I'm guessing it's probably 200 calories, maybe 8 to 10 grams of carbohydrates, a little bit higher on the fat because they are nuts. But I don't have one with me, but even like beef jerky is going to be a good option. If you want to get the lower sodium, you can, but those are great sources of protein, great snack. It'll hold you over into your next meal. Just make sure you don't overeat on those things because some of them, if they're flavored, they can have some extra calories, some extra sugar in them. Just try to get one that's kind of minimally, as far as the taste goes, like try to get the original over, you know, a certain sweet, tangy barbecue or whatever teriyaki flavor they have. It usually has added sugar to it. So keep in mind, protein snacks, you can choose from a variety of things. My recommendation is try to get some that have about 15 grams, ideally 20 grams per serving, lower in sugar, not super high in fat calories. But I would say if it's a snack, anywhere from 200 to 250 calories. If it's a meal replacement, we're looking anywhere from 3 to maybe 400 calories per serving. So hopefully you got some ideas that you can pack on your next lunch, on your snack. If you're an athlete, you can keep them in your bag. If you're just you're at work, keep them in your desk. Or if you have a fridge, pop them in your fridge. So thanks for the question, and until next time, you can send me a 30-second clip asking me any type of question, whether it's related to nutrition, supplements, or training, and then I'll record one of these and answer that question. All right, till next time, I'm out.